Today we're going to be having a look at the humble roast potato. They've got to be crunchy on the outside and just like the softest mashed potato you can imagine on the inside. But even more important than that, they've got to have the right flavour. The humble potato is used for so many different things, but the thing that's the closest to my heart is the roast potato. They're really simple when you break it down, but each element is absolutely crucial. The most important thing for anything else is your choice of potato. There are two polar opposite ends of the scale. They're the really waxy potatoes, like new potatoes, which are great for salads because they hold their shape really well. And at the other end, there's the fluffy potato, brilliant for mashed potato, and they also make great roast potato because after you've boiled them, you can fluff up that edge really easily to create those incredible, gnarly, crunchy edged bits, while the middle is just soft and gloriously delicious. King Edward or Amaris Piper, those are really flavoursome potatoes, great for roasting and great for mashed potatoes. First things first, you want to peel them. It's not mega urgent to get every scrap of skin off, but do the best job you can. Next, it's time to chop them up. When you chop them, the absolute key is don't chop them into square chunks. You want to chop them into angular pieces with sharp edges. The sharper and the pointier these potatoes can be, the more surface area you've got in the oven for those edges to crisp up and create that really gnarly, crunchy deliciousness. While you're chopping them up, go to your oven and put it on its highest possible setting and get yourself a tray, drizzle of oil in the bottom, and put that in the oven to preheat. You want it so it's smoking hot. Incidentally, when it comes to the oil, you want to use an oil with a really high smoking point. Personally, I use rapeseed oil because as well as having a high smoking point, it doesn't have too much background flavour. So all you're left with is a really beautiful potato flavour itself, which contributes so well to any dish. You want to be able to chop your potatoes up and have a pan big enough so that you can spread them out all over the bottom of that pan without them being stacked on top of each other, preferably with a little bit of space around them. The key is you don't want them lying on top of each other, because if you do that, the steam that's released when they cook goes up, and instead of making them all crunchy, they all go really soggy. You just end up with bog standard roast potatoes, the kind of things you get at school. Not what we're going for. Once you've chopped up your potatoes, pop them in some boiling water. A little bit of salt, bring it up to a rolling boil, and keep it at that temperature. If you got yourself a knife and stick it into one of the potatoes and lift it up, you'll see it doesn't slip off the knife. You're going to keep testing that every couple of minutes until when skewered with a knife and lift it up, the potato just falls straight away, and you know then it's fully cooked. At that point, take it off the heat, drain it in a colander in the sink, pop the potatoes back into the pan and give them a little bit of a shake around. The shake batters up the edge of the potatoes, fluffing up the edges, giving the oven the ability to crisp those pieces. It adds for so much more texture and flavour, so you've got that variety on each potato. Some people will tell you that to get that fluffiness and crunchiness in the oven, you want to use flour. Forget it, ignore these people, they don't know what they're talking about. Flour is a cheat's way. If you've got the right potatoes and you cook them to the right level in the pan, you do not need flour. You get the fluffiness on the inside and you get the crunchiness on the outside just from the potato itself. The only reason people use flour is perhaps they've got some waxier potatoes which don't fluff up as well, or they haven't cooked them as long in the pan, in which case flour on the outside gives the potato that fluff that you would otherwise have got either cooking it a bit longer or having the correct potatoes. Once you've fluffed up the potatoes, a bit of salt, a bit of pepper, and a bit more of the oil. Mix them around, make sure they're all fluffy and lovely on the outside, but still holding together on the inside. Now you've got to take that screaming hot pan out of the oven. Open the door, making sure you don't get caught in the cloud of smoke that's going to come out. Take it out, put it on top of the hob. If you're going to be a while, make sure you put the hob on just to keep the bottom of that pan red hot. Tip the potatoes in, give them a bit of a stir around, coat them with a little bit of the oil in the pan, and spread them out so they're kind of equidistant from each other. And take that pan, pop it back in the oven, and leave it for a good 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes. Keep checking on it until they're the level you want. If you like really crispy, crunchy ones, leave them for a little bit longer. If you like to have your potatoes a little bit less brown, don't leave it in as long. Here's a top tip. If you've got some people at your dinner party who like really crunchy potatoes and some people who don't, when you're chopping them up initially, make sure you chop some small and angular and some big and square. The big square ones won't cook as quickly and won't be as crunchy on the outside, whereas the small angular ones will just be like little chips. Absolutely delicious. Once you've had a look at them and they're at the level you want in the oven, take them out, chuck them with whatever roast dish you're having, have them with anything. And there we are, the perfect roast potato. It's like mashed potato in a crisp I can't quite put into words how good these potatoes are. So to recap, the most important things: the type of potato, number 1, the heat in the oven, number 2, and the fluffing up of the potatoes on the outside is number 3, to give you those really crunchy, crumbly bits. Any questions at all, feel free to chuck them in the box below. If you've liked this video, please do just click like, and if you want to see more, just subscribe. New videos being released all the time. See you next time.